So this morning, late morning, but still morning, I've got Matt and Jesse from Red E Parts in Fargo, North Dakota coming down. They build a whole bunch of different aftermarket things for air seeders or fertilizer carts, which basically our fertilizer cart is a glorified air seeder. Just did some modifications to it. And what we're gonna do is put in some stainless steel gates in the meter rolls that control the flow of the fertilizer. While I'm waiting for those guys to show up, I may as well go ahead and take a look-see at what we got and get a jump start on some stuff here. Oh, my millennial bones! Everything's corroded and a little bit tight, and it's difficult to take apart with one hand. So here is the meter roll. This controls the flow of the fertilizer, or the seed in a lot of cases is what these are used for an air seeder. There's nothing wrong with this. Where the problem is up inside here, there's a gate that controls the flow to this that has gotten corroded to the point where I don't trust that we're getting a consistent, even flow across all of the individual applicators. The basic idea of this thing, I should start with that, is that every other shank that's running tillage on this thing has a fertilizer applicator on it. So we've got shanks on 15 inches. We plant our crop in 30-inch rows. So every other shank has an applicator. So that one's just running tillage. This one's got an applicator tube coming down the back of it to blow the fertilizer in the trench behind the tillage line. That fertilizer comes from the cart back here, where we've got two different bins. So we've got the large one in the back for our phosphorus, the smaller one up front for our potash or potassium. If you hear me say potash, I'm talking about potassium, which is one of the main nutrients that corn and soybeans need, and so it's one of our main fertilizers. But it gets blown through this series of tubes out from that cart and into those applicators. But it's got to drop down first through what we call the meter rolls down on the bottom here. Now I've got the actual meter roll out of this one. This is the complete setup. That's what it looks like when it's all together. I've just pulled the roll out of here, so nothing complicated. We do that quite a bit to clean them, but if you look up inside here, if I can get the lighting just right, I will open this gate with one arm, and you can see that gate open and close in there. This one's had a bunch of work done to it to make sure it stays free. This one here, we've got some real issues with. It's pretty well stuck on one end. I can only get one half of it to close because the plastic is twisting inside there. This is a common thing, especially if you're running fertilizer through, because fertilizer is so corrosive. If you're running seed through, it's a lot easier on it, but I guess the air seeder guys, they do still have the same issues. What Red E has done is build this entire thing out of stainless steel and poly so that it isn't going to corrode the way that this stuff does right now. I'm not buying an entire meter roll for either one of these. What we're going to do is just tear them open, look into them, and try to put a stainless gate in here to keep the gate from seizing up the way that this one has. We clean this thing at the end of every year. A lot. We spend a lot of time with the pressure washer up in that meter roll, getting everything out that we can, and then we actually soak everything down in WD-40. We'll do it again in the spring as it's sitting out there, just to try to keep everything as free as possible. So it's not a maintenance issue, it's just the way that these things are, especially when you're running fertilizer through them. It's a pain in the butt, and it is what it is, but it's just one of those things. The first item to get out of the way here is all these tubes. Just get the tubes off, pull the clamps off, get the plastic parts in these tubes out of the way so that you can actually get to everything here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and drop those tubes down out of my way. This is a very, very difficult thing to film with one hand and perform with the other. See what I mean? There. Well, I think I found Mickey Mouse's summer home. I'm hoping he's not in there. Also found a little bit of that EPA approved lubricant inside one of the pipes, which is good. Keeps Mickey from moving into that one. Somewhere in here I lost my little 5/16 socket, you know? Just the tip. Corrosion. There we go. Killer, what are you doing? Huh? Just looking for people to eat? That's good. All right, I am here with Matt and Jesse from Red E out of Fargo, North Dakota, right?
Yep, West Fargo.
They're already pointing out some stuff that I didn't even know was wrong. I know we've got issues with the, what'd you call them, the halfway disconnects?
Yep, half-foot disconnects. It sounded like we could just get by with separating out the end caps and doing some maintenance on the inside, putting stainless steel half-foot disconnects, so at least they're functional and the plastic cylinders inside aren't twisting and seizing up. But when we look at this meter housing, we've got a very corroded bolt that holds the meter housing up. Call it a stud because it's welded to this top plate. And so although this top plate is a 1/4 inch thick steel, probably not going to rot a hole through it, these studs are likely to break off when we try to remove it. We're going to do everything we can to save it, probably use some double D40.
There you go.
Like that. There's a foam seal around the funnel weldment, and that's just right inside this bunker or tank here. The fertilizer sits behind in that seal area where you can't see, and it just rots away at the steel. And so again, more studs are going to break. It's going to be nasty in there. You're likely to want to replace your seal so your tank doesn't leak and things like that. And then if you come over here, we've actually got some holes forming in the meter housing inside the cavity. That's to pressurize the tank so your product flows consistently and accurately. Otherwise your metering is going to be off.
And that's just from corrosion eating away at that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to say you take good care of your equipment, but it's not showing.
Hey, that's it. You guys can go.
It's just an inherent problem with these because maybe they were designed for just seed, but you put fertilizer in them. This outside, or the area between the end caps, is actually aluminum, extruded aluminum. Well, we know that fertilizer doesn't do well with aluminum. It doesn't do well with steel.
Honestly, we try to clean the heck out of this thing because we don't want to have these issues. And it's 7 or 8 years old now, so it's got a decent amount of acres, a lot of fertilizer run through it, but obviously it's got some problems. When you look at the holes here, is that fixable?
You could do that, but you know, we're gonna probably have problems anyway. These bolts here rarely come out without breaking off. In fact, hey, look at that.
You broke it already.
Did you do that one?
No, I didn't do that one.
I'm really strong there. Like I literally,
that's a tough millennial right there.
I touched it and broke it off.
I'm so embarrassed. Basically, you'll spray it down with WD-40 and then we're good to go. You guys can leave?
Well, we need some duct tape too.
Yeah, maybe come back.
Oh, I have duct tape.
Okay.
All right, Matt, you thought you were tough by breaking that bolt by hand?
See, this one?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
I'll put it back.
Well, I'm gonna take these nuts off by hand.
Oh man.
Yeah, look at that.
Easy peasy.
Who says millennials are wimpy? I swear to you, we clean this thing every year. Yeah, that was Mickey Mouse's home.
Mouse nest?
It is, yeah.
Hey, you're really
That
conservation person.
That was the manager of the cart that was supposed to prevent all this from happening, but
I'm glad we came.
he took off. Wasn't happy with the housing
He's
situation.
probably growing another leg or something.
Yeah.
My grandpa would always say, Grandma was slow, but she was 180.
He had the best one.
Or he'd
That's
say,
a good.
hey, there's a nickel waiting on a dime here. Oh, look at yummy.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Well, the good news is we didn't have to chop any bolts on the lower kit.
That's a good deal, huh?
Got a little waterfall coming out of here though.
I see that. Is it water or diesel? Because somebody's been known to put diesel in there once in a while just to help kind of keep things lubricated.
If I was to guess,
Smells
it's water.
It's water? Dang it.
a little water mixed with WD-40. Wee knife. You know that reference? Yummy.
Yeah. It's just as delicious.
Oh, that smells good.
All right, here's our mess. Pretty simple up to this point. Everything just comes down the tank and into the top of the meter roll here, I guess. That's what we call it. You guys call it meter roll? Meter housing?
Meter housing, meter area, meter for short.
Coming down.
Coming down.
So eventually what will happen is they'll disconnect and your ladder will be flopping around in there.
Well, that ladder flopping around in there, once it rusts off, would really kind of act like just another agitator, wouldn't it?
Well, the other problem is that ladder actually helps hold your tank up. It's a good way to think of it. So
Yeah, see, I'm
you don't wanna
innovative. Innovative thinking.
these plastic tanks, when they're full of product, they sag. And so that ladder actually helps keep the integrity of it as far as the... That was a really good selling point.
You know,
Wow, I didn't even think
you
of that.
never want saggy tanks.
No.
It's just,
You could have problems.
Chicks don't dig saggy
I couldn't have thought of
tanks.
a better way to convince you to change it.
you always want two big firm tanks, right? Like
Yep.
kind of a Pamela Anderson style air cart.
Well, if that's where your mind goes, sure.
That's where mine goes.
So this is a half the disconnect kit that we carry from Romafa. It's a great kit that makes you be able to retrofit your existing meter housing and get rid of that half a disconnect sticking problem.
Which is a common problem for fertilizer and seed guys, right? And every brand too. This is not necessarily a specific thing to Deere, right?
If you have a cart, you got the problem.
You got the problem.
These screws that hold the end caps on are
Yep.
a stainless tri-lobe self-cutting screw.
That's what I thought they looked like, yeah.
Yeah. How do you know those terms so well? I spent a few years in the factory.
So you have done this before?
When they're new. Yeah, new. Great.
So hold on. You built and designed these things when they were brand new, and here you are
Take credit. for
making
this
a whole nother business out of rebuilding them to be better?
Yeah, you know, just
This guy's a genius.
repurposing used equipment to make it perform like new. I was in manufacturing engineering and helped with tool design and production. And
So you're not the guy that made the mistakes of building these the way they are?
well, no, I just had to figure out how to make them efficiently and safely.
I am an engineer, but I think there's a problem in here.
It doesn't look so bad.
This is a stainless steel agitator rod, actually.
Okay,
So Deere did put some stainless in
good,
it.
good.
One thing.
There we go.
There we go, and the gates are out.
Yep. Hopefully I don't forget how to put this back together.
Yeah, I hope you don't.
Yep.
We got one stainless one sitting in there.
Yep. So here's what we're replacing. This twisting flexible deal.
Right, when you grab the arm on this one, you get a lot of pressure on it, and when one end is stuck, this plastic just twists.
Yep. So I got this one in here, the first stainless one, and just to verify fit up.
Just controls where the
cartridge.
flow of the product is going.
Exactly. And this is a very important feature.
Based on what we're seeing in here, we've made the decision to mount on an entirely new unit in the rear, because the front one isn't so bad, that's been gone through, but we're going to put in a whole new funnel up top, a whole new meter roll, a whole new bottom. We're going to do this right.
Full
Let's get
stainless
it
from the
done.
ladder down.
Luckily, they brought the whole system, because I made the suggestion that maybe just in case, they better bring everything.
It's happened before.
It's happened before.
Yeah. But it'll be worth it.
Yep.
Our helpers are here.
Yeah, there they are. Have fun in there.
Yeah.
Air conditioning is no good. So he's gonna go in and disconnect the ladder from the lower funnel here. Oh, now we got a mess. Ew. Icky.
I'm gonna send a half.
You know how you know when you have a good channel seedsman?
He's sitting down eating.
When he's sitting down eating after calling the district sales manager to go get lunch for us. And then he looks good.
Yep.
He did nothing though.
I didn't do anything. It was all her.
Once again, thanks for nothing.
All right.
Thank you, Bethany.
You're welcome.
Hey, you're doing good over there, Matt.
Yeah,
These sandwiches are awesome.
I'm gonna have to redo the silicone, and I didn't like doing that the first time.
Well, what do you want us to do? Bethany brought sandwiches.
Just keep doing.
Bethany brought sandwiches.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Pop, whatever.
Beverage of choice.
Ooh, it's even got a glass door at front. What would you put in there, Scott?
Beer pop.
Yeah, good choice. We are putting in a new stainless steel funnel.
Stainless funnel.
Yep. There.
All right.
Now we're in.
Yep. There you go.
Too far?
Nope.
So you got the agitator in. Everything's together here.
Yep.
That doesn't match.
Right.
Is what it is.
Some
Huh?
of it's got to stay green.
Some of it's got to stay green.
Red.
You want
No, we don't want it red.
Okay.
No. Only thing red we got around here is pickups. So these obviously work much nicer
Yep.
than the old one where I had to use a hammer and it didn't really work.
Yeah.
So it actually just spins the way it's supposed to now.
Yep.
Nice. I got two. Two here.
Great.
Man, chicks are gonna dig that.
Turning on and off.
Yeah.
Just added some bling to your.
Yeah, that's right. Would you be quiet? I'm making a YouTube video. I really like how the doors open completely out of the way so you can see what's going on, rather than hanging about there. Ooh, look at that. Looks just as good from up here as it does from the bottom. I had to grind the old nuts and bolts off the plastic on the bottom part here, but we got those moved over. We're mounting them onto the stainless bottom right now with stainless hardware so that hopefully we don't have to grind them off. It's Friday late afternoon. I've got to run and we need some parts here. Just a couple of things to wrap this up. So we're going to take off for the evening. We're going to be back at it at 7 a.m. and finish this deal up. See you guys in the morning, but really you won't know because it's just the same video. The next morning, 7 a.m. Saturday morning. Matt and Jesse should be back shortly. We're gonna finish that thing up, get it done. And my neighborhood is full of gunshots this morning from duck hunting. Look at this complete disaster. It's a shame. Oh look, more rain. You boys bring that wiper blade seal thing?
Yeah.
That we needed so desperately.
You know how
There we go.
$20 part holds up the whole operation. This is what we're missing.
There it is. That's my favorite part right there. That stainless disconnect. Oh, that is nice. You guys want the used mouse nest that came out of here?
Oh, you will pass. I'll let you keep that one.
Trade that in for anything? Are you getting anything done out here?
Barely.
Because I don't know if you saw or not, but I put like 3 bolts in over there.
Great job.
Onyx Johnson is here. Onyx, you want to give the viewers a rundown of how last night's races went?
Like that.
Like that? I don't think so. How'd it go, Onyx?
Good.
Were you happy with the results?
Uh-huh.
How'd you do?
Second.
Second? Out of what?
5.
Out of 5? It's pretty good. That was pretty fun.
Another great saying of my grandpa. If you need help, I'll call you.
That is a good saying. I was processing that like, say that wrong?
Wait, what?
That looks a little too shiny, Matt. I don't want to get mud on that.
I was just gonna put it on and bill you.
That's what you were gonna do?
Yeah.
That's it. That's like a solid business plan.
Good plan, yeah.
I was just gonna write you a check and then whether it goes through or not, who knows? See, I like the corroded out mild steel. That way it's more of a press fit in there.
You are from Minnesota.
Yeah.
You are used to the salts in the road.
The salt's in the road, everything's rusted, yeah. Matt over here couldn't convince me to go full stainless on the tubes.
It's a shame.
So then he decided to give me 1 tube, in his words, so that I had to stare at it and get mad at it because I didn't put the rest of them in.
Yep.
He put it on the outside.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's how we do it.
We're about buttoned up here. I like looking at what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing, I guess. I didn't really... You guys want to clean this up now? Oh, Onyx is here.
Oh, you came
Perfect.
just in time.
Grab yourself some cleanup equipment and go to town, okay?
We'll
I'm gonna go to the bar and get a pizza.
We'll grab a drink and watch it.
And then we can criticize the next generation.
Yeah.
Ah, these Gen Z kids. I'm sure some people are gonna question why we didn't put a stainless one up front here. And that's because about 2 years ago, this one was so rotted out already that we actually replaced this one. So this one is a newer Deere one. So it's in pretty decent shape yet at this point, but if I'd have known at the time that I could get a stainless one for pretty similar price, I certainly would have done that. That was a full foam seal?
Yeah.
So you think-
Do you think that was sealing anymore?